Somewhere beneath the Indian Ocean, a U.S. Navy fast attack submarine went silent. It had been tracking a target, waiting, calculating, and then one torpedo, one shot, one Iranian warship gone. This is the first time the United States Navy has sunk an enemy vessel with a torpedo since World War II, and almost nobody saw it coming. What's up, everyone? Welcome back. If you're new here, this channel covers global military events, geopolitics, and the weapons and strategies shaping the modern world. And today, we're talking about something that hasn't happened since 1945, an American submarine hunting down and destroying an enemy warship with a single torpedo in open ocean. The Pentagon confirmed it. The Defense Secretary went on camera and said it himself. And the details? Honestly, they're even more dramatic than the headline. So let's break this down completely. What happened, where, why it matters, and what it tells us about where this conflict is heading. Stay with me because this one is a big deal. Here's the scene. A U.S. Navy fast attack submarine, identity classified as is standard, was operating in the Indian Ocean near the southern coast of Sri Lanka. That puts it inside the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command's area of responsibility. The target? The IRIS Dena, a Moudge-class frigate belonging to the Islamic Republic of Iran Navy. It had reportedly just finished taking part in a naval drill in the Bay of Bengal and was now transiting international waters, probably thinking it was safe. It was not safe. The submarine fired a single Mk-48 torpedo. One torpedo. The IRIS Dena went to the bottom of the sea. According to Sri Lankan officials, there were 180 people on board. 32 were subsequently rescued by Sri Lankan naval personnel. Rescue crews were also reportedly recovering bodies from the scene. This was not a close-range ambush. This was a precise, deliberate, long-range strike on a vessel operating thousands of miles from Iranian home waters. Think about that for a second. A submarine found, tracked, and killed an out-of-area warship in the middle of the Indian Ocean. This wasn't some leaked rumor. The Pentagon came out and said it, loudly and clearly. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth stood at the podium and described it as a, and I'm quoting here, quiet death. He said, "Yesterday, in the Indian Ocean, an American submarine sunk an Iranian warship that thought it was safe in international waters. Instead, it was sunk by a torpedo." Then, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Caine, went further. He said, "For the first time since 1945, a United States Navy fast attack submarine has sunk an enemy combatant ship using a single Mk-48 torpedo to achieve immediate effect, sending the warship to the bottom of the sea." He called it an incredible demonstration of America's global reach, and he made a pointed statement that really stuck with me. To hunt, find, and kill an out-of-area deployer is something that only the United States can do at this type of scale. That phrase, out-of-area deployer, is military speak for a ship operating far from its home region. The message being sent here is not subtle. You can run, but you can't hide. Not from us. Now, this sinking didn't happen in a vacuum. General Caine also revealed some staggering numbers about the broader U.S. military campaign that's been underway. To date, the U.S. has struck over 2,000 total targets across Iran and has destroyed more than 20 of Iran's naval vessels. He said the campaign has, quote, effectively neutralized at this point in time Iran's major naval presence in theater. Let that sink in. Over 20 ships, thousands of targets, and the campaign, according to Caine, is not over. He said strikes are expected to continue over the next 24 to 48 hours. The IRIS Dena was one piece of a much larger military picture. The U.S. has been systematically dismantling Iran's ability to project naval power in the region, and now they've demonstrated they can do it anywhere, not just in the Persian Gulf or the Strait of Hormuz, but in the middle of the Indian Ocean, thousands of miles from the nearest U.S. base. This is a strategic statement as much as it is a tactical action. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about why everyone is making such a big deal about the torpedo specifically. The last time a U.S. submarine sank an enemy ship with a torpedo was World War II, 1945. For 80 years, American submarines have dominated the oceans as the most powerful and capable undersea force in the world, but they've never had to use their primary weapon in actual combat. Not during Korea, not Vietnam, not the Gulf War, not Iraq, not Syria. Until now. The Mk-48 torpedo is one of the most advanced heavyweight torpedoes ever built. It's wire-guided, meaning the submarine can steer it after launch, and it can hit targets at depths and ranges that were unimaginable in the WW2 era. The fact that a single Mk-48 was all it took to send a modern frigate to the sea floor tells you a lot about why naval planners take this weapon so seriously. For Iran, and frankly for any Navy watching, this is a sobering message. The thing about submarines is you never know they're there until it's too late, and now the US has proven for the first time in living memory that its submarines will pull the trigger. So, what does all of this mean going forward? First, Iran's naval capacity has taken a serious hit. Losing 20-plus ships, including a frigate that was operating thousands of miles from home, is not something you recover from quickly. These are expensive assets that take years to build and crew. Second, the reach of U.S. undersea warfare is on full display. The Indian Ocean is a long way from the Persian Gulf. The fact that a U.S. submarine was positioned and ready to strike near Sri Lanka tells us something about how widely American naval power is deployed, and how quietly. Third, there's a psychological dimension here. The Iranian Navy now has to operate under the assumption that any ship, anywhere, could be targeted. That changes decision-making. That changes how you move ships, where you send them, and whether you dare send them at all. And fourth, according to the Pentagon, this isn't over yet. More strikes are coming. The U.S. has stated its goal clearly: neutralize Iran's military capacity in theater. That's a significant objective, and they appear to be moving toward it fast. Look, regardless of where you stand politically on any of this, what happened in the Indian Ocean this week is historically significant. An 80-year chapter in naval warfare just ended with the torpedo fired in silence from somewhere beneath the ocean's surface. The IRIS Dena is gone. The crew largely did not survive, and the United States military made very sure the world knew exactly what it had done and why. Whether this accelerates a resolution to the broader conflict or escalates things further, that's the question hanging over all of this right now. I'll be covering every development as it comes in. If you want to stay up to date, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read all of them. And as always, stay sharp, stay informed. See you in the next one.